Militants who support Hamas who've been attacking ships passing through the Red Sea.
This week, a Norwegian oil tanker was hit by anti-ship missiles and caught fire. Houthi military leaders claim they're acting in solidarity with Palestinians, and that all of the targets have some connection to Israel, but that's far from clear.
And experts are warning if this continues, it could have a major impact on the cost of pretty much everything. And the reason? 7 of the 10 biggest commercial shipping companies have decided the risk just isn't worth it. Those 7 companies make up 2/3 of the global shipping market. And in many cases, instead of going their normal route, they're making the extremely costly decision of going all the way around the entire continent of Africa, just to avoid the trouble. The Suez Canal is by far the quickest sea route between Asia and Europe, and it's an important route from Asia to the Americas as well. Any ship passing through the Suez Canal has to come through the narrow passage between Yemen and Africa, called the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, not far from Houthi-controlled territory in Yemen, and where most of these attacks have taken place.
And it saves you about 25% of the time on the journey between Asia and Europe. So it's a huge, vital trade link.
Here's just how vital it is. About 12% of all global trade passes through this canal, including 30% of the world's container shipments. We're talking about $1 trillion worth of goods every single year, from clothing to electronics to cars.
I mean, you should go to a store and just look around. Anything on the shelf in a store would have come on a container ship. I'm just looking around the room at me right now. What am I? The books, this microphone, this computer mouse, like everything is shipped in a container ship.
It's also a major route for oil. About 10% of global oil shipments flow through this canal. Just to give you an idea, in the first half of 2023, that was about 9 million barrels a day. Europe may be most affected by oil disruptions because a significant amount of their imports arrive via the Suez Canal, even more since they stopped taking oil from Russia. And there aren't really many good alternatives. You can't just send all these goods by air if you consider the massive carrying capacity of these ships. For example, the world's largest cargo plane is 84 meters, or about 275 feet long, and can carry a few 100,000 pounds of cargo. But compare that to the largest container ships. They're somewhere between 275 or 400 meters, or 900 and 1,300 feet long, and can carry hundreds of millions of pounds. Every other alternative is really expensive. Some of the biggest shipping companies that have pulled out of the area are now diverting their ships around the Cape of Good Hope on the southern tip of Africa. Sailing from Asia to Europe via the Cape of Good Hope instead of the Suez Canal is a significant diversion. This route adds more than 5,000 kilometers to a journey from Singapore to Rotterdam, for example, and about 10 days to the trip.
If something takes 25% longer in a shipping network, that's 25% less supply of capacity for the shipping network. That means when you reduce supply, prices can go way up.
You can imagine an extra 5,000 or so kilometers, that's a lot of extra fuel. Here's the thing. The cost to pass through this canal has already been going up steadily for months since the Israel-Hamas war started, because ships have to notify their insurers when they're sailing through a high-risk area.
Obviously, ships have to be insured. If you are transiting one of these areas, you may have to pay an additional premium, depending on who you're insured with.
Just this week, a group of prominent marine insurers widened the area in the Red Sea they deemed to be high risk, meaning more ships will have to pay those premiums. So at this point, shipping companies have a tough choice to make. They either face the risk of traveling through the Red Sea and the increased insurance costs that comes with it, or they divert their vessels through other much longer routes, which also creates a domino effect, messing up these companies' itineraries, clogging up the entire chain all the way down. Either way, their costs go up.
We're going to see prices go up 2 to 3x for the price of shipping things.
And if the cost of shipping goes up, so does the cost of everything on those ships.